Jim Krane is a fellow at the Baker Institute for Public Policy at Rice University. He's the author of City of Gold, Dubai and the Dream of Capitalism. He joins us from Houston, Texas. Jim, very good to have you with us. The UAE is seen as one of the more liberal countries in the region, and Dubai is the playground of the Middle East. So why a Ministry of Happiness, and why now?
But so the Ministry of Happiness is kind of an interesting innovation. The way I understand it is that the UAE government needs more information on public opinion, on what its own public thinks about policies, this is a perennial problem you have in autocratic systems where the government is not getting information on public preferences through elections. There's no organized political opposition, so it's pretty tough for the government to really understand what the public's thinking. So having a ministry that looks at public happiness is one way of doing that.
And they're also creating a ministry of tolerance. That also seems odd in an autocracy where freedoms are limited and where there are crackdowns on.
Well, tolerance is really one of the big competitive advantages that Dubai has had over the years, and really helped make it what it is now. Dubai has got a lot of social freedom and a lot of religious tolerance. I mean, people from all different religions and all around the world go there to live. It's probably the most cosmopolitan city on the planet, and it has been one of the key reasons that people want to invest there and open companies there or move there, build buy second homes there, and it's made it a really a place that pretty much everybody from anybody from any part of the world can go there and do business.
They're also creating another government body, the Ministry of Cabinet Affairs, or at least they're putting that in charge of what they're calling the future. Is Sheikh Mohammed, the Dubai leader, doing that to send a message outside the UAE's borders to investors who may want to come to Dubai?
Sheikh Mohammed's been pretty good at innovating new government policies in the past, and he's done so successfully in Dubai. Dubai has managed to become the first post-oil economy in the Middle East. So, in the 90s, when oil production peaked, Dubai, like some of its neighbors, was pretty dependent on producing and selling oil, its oil reserves have all but been depleted, and it's managed to build all sorts of new business sectors and
it never had as much oil as the other Emirates. In fact, it came to oil relatively late. It's a relatively small part of its economy today. So was it blessed to find oil later than others because it was forced to have a diversified economy early?
It was, yes, in a way. So they did find their oil much later. The ruler at the time invested the oil proceeds heavily in overbuilding his city's infrastructure. So commentators in the West made fun of him at the time. There was a front page article in the Wall Street Journal, in the 1980s, making fun of him for building a giant dry dock that was too big for any ship to fill it. He built this enormous port you could see from outer space. And those are the actual building blocks to the economy of Dubai that we see now.
Well, it has been successful in so many different ways. As in other Middle Eastern countries, a large migrant worker population has been subject to well-documented abuses. Do you think any of these ministries of happiness and tolerance will help them?
I suspect not. I suspect these ministries are really more focused on the population of citizens.
And as you mentioned with the big port, it seems that Dubai's tourist explosion in the past couple of decades was a case of if you build it, they will come, and they came. But it did lead to a real estate bubble that burst with the world financial crisis, and they needed Abu Dhabi oil money to survive. What do you see in the future?
Well, so it did stumble in 2008, 2009 when the real estate crash happened. But the buildings that were created back then are still there. These are facts on the ground, and the city is thriving again. I mean, people are coming from all over the world to open businesses there and buy second homes. So it's doing pretty well.
Jim Krane from the Baker Institute. Good to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it for this International News Hour on Al Jazeera America. In our next